Once again, welcome to my YouTube channel, Professor LPT. Today's topic is defects in milk and milk products. So far, we have discussed so much details about the milk and its properties. Little bit we will discuss about the defects, though details of the defects and spoilage of milk I have discussed already in details in a previous lecture. More I am going to discuss here about the defects of milk products. So we have discussed the preparation of many milk products. There can be always some defects, so we will discuss about them, their causes and their prevention. So already I have mentioned these are the topics we are going to discuss today in this lecture. First is briefly about the defects in milk, their causes and prevention. Mostly here I will discuss a few spoilage and their causes. Then more about the different dairy products. So first is about cream, defects and their causes and prevention. Then defects in butter, their causes and prevention. Then defects in ghee, then in ice cream, then in cheese, and finally about the defects in milk powder and their causes and prevention. First, here we will discuss about the defects in milk and their causes and prevention. So one of the most common defects seen in case of milk is sweet curdling. So this is a common defect of heat treated milk and cream, also seen in pasteurized milk which has been held for longer periods of time, especially during summer months. Here milk gets solidified without any acid production or souring, hence it is referred to as sweet curdling. Due to the production of an extracellular enzyme similar to renin by aerobic spore forming bacteria, which causes casein to precipitate or coagulate in the form of curds. So main cause of sweet curdling is due to the renin like enzyme produced by spore forming aerobic bacteria. The activity of the extracellular enzyme increase at higher temperature. So these enzymes become more active at higher temperature. So whenever the pasteurized milk is held for a longer time, then this kind of changes can happen. So this happens without even acid production or souring, mainly due to this enzyme. Here is the causative microorganisms responsible for sweet curdling. The aerobic spore formers like Bacillus cereus, Bacillus subtilis and Bacillus mycoides. Then psychrotropic spore formers, that is the organism which grow at low temperature like Bacillus licheniformis and Bacillus albolactis. Then non-spore forming rods like Proteus and Listeria group of species, and some cocci like Streptococcus liquefaciens. So these are some of the important causative organisms for sweet curdling. Now we will discuss some of the other type of spoilage that can be considered a kind of defect, and their causative organisms involved and the signs of spoilage. So all these things we have discussed in full details in a separate lecture, that is the spoilage of milk. So here souring mainly due to lactobacillus species or streptococcus species, and the signs of spoilage is sour milk and card formation. Then proteolysis is a common defect or spoilage type caused by Pseudomonas species, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus cereus, their variety mycoides, Pseudomonas putrefaciens, Pseudomonas viscosi, Streptococcus liquefaciens and Proteus species, and the main sign will be bitterness. Then sweet curdling we have just discussed, that is Bacillus species, Proteus species, Micrococcus species. Here the pH will be neutral or alkaline side and there will be card formation. Then lipolysis is another common condition caused by Pseudomonas species like Pseudomonas fluorescens, Achromobacter lipolyticum, some yeasts like Candida lipolytica and molds, and some Penicillium species or Geotrichum candidum. Most of this time it will cause rancid odor. In continuation, some more defects in milk like gas production caused by Clostridium species, coliform bacteria, certain yeasts. Then in yeast category there is Torula cremoris, Candida pseudotropicalis and Torulopsis spherica, and the signs will be gasiness. Then there is common ropiness caused by alkaligen species, Klebsiella species and Enterobacter species, and the signs will be stringy or slimy milk. There could be red rot caused by Serratia marcescens, and there will be red coloration, that is the typical sign. There could be grey rot caused by Clostridium species. There could be grey coloration or foul smell, and finally there could be dairy mold caused by Aspergillus species, Penicillium species and Geotrichum species, and there will be moldy appearance. So we have already discussed some of the defects or kind of spoilage briefly in case of milk and their causes and symptoms or signs. Here briefly we will discuss about the prevention of all those conditions. Firstly, the turning of bedding or distribution of fodder should not be done before milking. So that is, in the milking shed, turning of fodder or distribution of fodder should not be done just before milking. Secondly, receiving churns on the farm should be protected by keeping a lid on them. Thirdly, cleaning and sanitization of the equipment. All equipment should be properly cleaned and sanitized, which we have discussed thoroughly in a separate lecture. Then milk should be cooled at the farm, and after pasteurization should be held in refrigerator to minimize the defects. So this we have discussed at the beginning stage about the milk collection and cooling. So first milk should be collected and chilled until it is pasteurized, and once it goes to the dairy plant and pasteurization is done, it should be kept under refrigerator or chilling, and milk should be delivered to the consumer without any delay, and proper pasteurization should be always followed. So these are the common precautions to prevent any defect or spoilage of milk. Here we can see the photograph of ropiness, which is a common defect seen in milk. So you can see the string-like ropiness in case of milk, and in the right side we can see the sweet curdling, the photograph which we have discussed earlier. Now we will discuss about the defects in cream, their causes and prevention. Now we will discuss about the flavor defect in cream, their cause and prevention. So first is Barney, due to poor ventilation of milking barn. So it can be improved by ventilation in the milking barn. Not keeping milk properly covered during production, which can be solved by keeping proper covering. The bitter defect, that is due to intake of bitter weeds by milch animals, which can be avoided by offending the such weeds or eradicating such weeds. Lipase activity during cream separation. So checking lipase activity by avoiding the danger zone during 39 to 49 degrees Celsius during raw cream separation. So this temperature we have to avoid, which is the maximum activity temperature for lipase activity. Then due to growth of proteolytic bacteria in cream. So storage of cream at 5 degrees Celsius or below to check the bacterial growth, it can be solved. Then cheesy defect, that is growth of proteolytic bacteria leading to casein breakdown. So storage, the solution or prevention is storage of cream at 5 degrees Celsius or below to check the bacterial growth. Here in continuation of flavor defect in cream, cooked flavor due to excessive heating of cream during preparation. So proper heating of cream during pasteurization should be followed. Then there could be oxidized, oily or metallic or tallowy flavor, that is due to fat oxidation due to direct contact of milk with copper or iron, exposure to milk or cream to sunlight. This can be solved or prevented by proper tinning of milk or cream holding vessels, or using aluminum alloy or stainless steel as contact surface, and sometime by vacuum pasteurization of cream. Another defect is feed and weed flavor, that is due to the feeding of milk tainting feeds and wheats within 3 hours before milking. So feeding, the solution is the feeding of milk tainting feeds and wheats soon after milking should be done. That is, before milking it should be avoided. And next is eradication of milk tainting wheats and vacuum pasteurization of cream. So in continuation of flavor defects in cream, rancid flavor due to fat hydrolysis by lipase action in milk or cream. It can be prevented by inactivating lipase by proper pasteurization of milk and cream. Next is fruity flavor, development of byproducts of growth of certain undesirable microorganisms. That's the cause, and the prevention is storage of cream at 5 degrees Celsius or below to check microbial growth. Another defect is coarse acid or sour cream. It is due to the uncontrolled acid development in cream and can be prevented by storage of cream at 5 degrees Celsius or below to check the acid development. And the last one is yeasty flavor due to growth of lactose fermenting yeasts, and it can be prevented by storage of cream at 5 degrees Celsius or below to check the yeast growth. Now we will discuss about the defects in butter, their causes and prevention. First we will discuss here the different kind of defects commonly found in case of butter. The first column we can see the flavor defect, that is either acid, high acid or sour, then alkaline or neutralizer, then bitter, then cheesy, then cooked, then fishy flavor, then feed and weedy flavor and flat flavor. Then in the middle column we can see the body and texture defects like crumbly, greasy, gummy, leaky, mealy or grainy, sticky, spongy or weak and gritty. And in the last column we can see the color defect like mottled, streaky or wavy, dull or pale. So these are the different kind of defects commonly seen in butter, and some of them we are going to discuss along with their cause and prevention. Here we will discuss some of the flavor defects in butter, their causes and prevention. First is the acidic defect caused by using acid or under neutralized cream, and the prevention is use sweet or optimum neutralized cream. The alkaline defect due to over neutralization of cream, that is the extra soda or alkaline is used, and the prevention is optimum neutralization. The bitter defect due to intake of bitter weeds by animals or lipase activity during cream separation. The prevention is by eradication of offending weeds and checking lipase activity. Then cheesy defect by the growth of proteolytic bacteria and can be prevented by storage of cream at 5 degrees Celsius or below. Then there is cooked flavor due to overheating of cream during pasteurization and can be avoided by optimum heating. Then fishy flavor due to high acid salted butter and can be prevented by unsalted butter and cold storage. Now we will see some of the texture defects in butter. First one is gritty. The cause is undissolved coarse salt and incorrect salting. The prevention is correct salting with properly ground salt. The another texture defect is crumbly. The cause is underworking of butter, sudden chilling of butter soon after production. The prevention is adequate working of butter and controlled cooling. Another third defect, that is the textural defect in butter, is gummy. The cause is high fats having high melting point. That means the more of fat with high melting point, and the prevention is avoid feeds containing high melting point fats. So these are some of the common texture defect in butter, their cause and prevention. Here you can see some of the common textural defect in butter, that is gritty, crumbly and gummy. Here is another group of common textural defect in butter. They are causes and prevention. The first one is grainy. The cause is incorrect neutralization of high acid cream with lime. And the prevention is oiling off of fat during butter making. The second one is greasy texture. The cause is overworking of butter and the prevention is adequate working of butter. The third one is leaky texture. The cause underworking of butter, over churning at high temperature, incorrect cooling and aging. The prevention by adequate working, correct churning temperature, correct cooling and aging. Here you can see the photographs of other textural defects in butter like grainy, greasy and leaky butter. Now we will discuss about the defects in ghee, their causes and prevention. So first we have seen about cream, then about butter and now about ghee. So we will see the defects in ghee. First is about the flavor defects. The first one is smoky. The cause is smoky fire used for boiling milk or converting makhan into ghee in desi method. The prevention is using non-smoky fire for boiling milk or converting makhan into ghee in desi method. Then second one is overcooked or burnt flavor. It is due to excessive high temperature of clarification of ghee. The prevention is optimum temperature of clarification of ghee. The third one is undercooked flavor. It is due to very low temperature of clarification. So the solution is optimum temperature of clarification of ghee. The fourth one is the rancid flavor due to fat hydrolysis by lipase action in milk, cream, curd or butter. The prevention is inactivation of lipase by proper pasteurization of milk, cream, etc. and using optimum clarification. Here is the flavor defect in ghee in continuation, oxidized or oily due to the fat oxidation due to direct contact of milk, curd, cream, butter, ghee with copper or ion exposure of this product to sunlight, etc. And the prevention is storage of milk, curd, cream, butter, ghee in properly tinned or aluminum alloy stainless steel vessels, filling ghee up to the brim so as to avoid any headspace air, avoiding storage of ghee at high temperature, avoiding using salted butter or ghee making, avoiding long storage of ghee and storage of ghee in opaque containers. So these are the major problem in case of ghee, oxidation or oily or metallic, and which can be avoided by this way. Now we will see the texture defects in ghee. The first one is greasy. It is due to rapid cooling of hot ghee after clarification, subjecting ghee to further heating and cooling treatments after preparation. And the prevention is by slow cooling of hot ghee after clarification and avoiding further heating and cooling of ghee after preparation. The second, another texture defect in ghee is burnt, that is excessively high temperature of clarification of ghee is the reason, and the prevention is by optimum temperature of clarification of ghee. And the third one is sediment defect, that is due to incorrect straining of ghee and can be prevented by correct straining of ghee. Here we can see the picture of a very common defect in ghee, that is burnt ghee. It is due to the excessively high temperature of clarification when making the ghee. Now we will discuss the common defects in ice cream, their causes and prevention. First we will discuss the flavor defect in ice cream. The first one is high flavor. Due to addition of excessive amount of flavor, and the prevention is by addition of correct amount of flavor. The second is low flavor defect, that is due to addition of inadequate amount of flavor and can be solved by addition of correct amount of flavor. The third one is acid or sour flavor due to the presence of excessive acidity due to use of sour dairy products, slow cooling of mix at higher temperature. The prevention is control of acidity by using fresh dairy products, prompt cooling of milk and storage of mix at 0 to 5 degree Celsius. Then there can be bitter flavor defect. It is due to the using of low quality ingredients, especially flavor and dairy products, etc. And prevention by using true flavor extract using fresh sweet dairy products. Then the cooked flavor in case of ice cream due to overheating of mix during pasteurization, and it can be prevented by proper heating. This is in continuation of flavor defect in ice cream. There can be flat flavor due to addition of inadequate amount of sugar and prevention by addition of correct amount of sugar. There could be unnatural flavor cause addition of not so typical ice cream flavor. The prevention by addition of typical ice cream flavor. There could be rancid flavor due to fat hydrolysis by lipase action in the individual fat-rich ingredients or in the mix. Prevention by inactivating lipase by proper pasteurization of the fat-rich ingredients or mix. There could be oxidized, oily or metallic or tallowy flavor, that is due to fat oxidation due to direct contact of individual fat-rich ingredients or mix with copper or iron or exposure to sunlight. The prevention by storage of individual fat-rich ingredients or mix in tin or aluminium or stainless steel vessel, especially the opaque vessel, to avoid the sunlight exposure. Here we will see the body defects in ice cream. The first one is crumbly. The cause is due to low solids content, low stabilizer content, excessive overrun and improper homogenization. And the prevention is by using optimum solids content, optimum stabilizer content, correct overrun and proper homogenization. The second defect in body is soggy. The cause is low overrun, high sugar content, excessive stabilizer content. And the prevention is optimum overrun, optimum sugar content and optimum stabilizer content. Then there can be weak body. The cause low solids content, low stabilizer content. And the prevention is optimum solids content and optimum stabilizer content. Now we will see the texture defects in ice cream. The first one is buttery. The cause inadequate homogenization. The prevention by adequate homogenization. The second one coarse or icy. The cause low solids content, low stabilizer content. The prevention is optimum solids content and optimum stabilizer. The third one is fluffy. The cause is excessive overrun, low solids content and excessive emulsifier content. The solution is optimum overrun, optimum solids content and optimum emulsifier content. And the last one is sandy. That is the texture defect. Cause is high MSNF, that is the milk solids not fat, or lactose content high, or temperature fluctuation in retail cabinet or long storage period. The prevention is optimum MSNF for lactose content, avoiding temperature fluctuation and short storage period. We will see the melting defects in ice cream. The first one is Cardi meltdown. The cause using high acid mix and the prevention using fresh sweet mix. The second one is foamy meltdown. The cause excessive overrun, excessive emulsifier content. The prevention is optimum overrun and optimum emulsifier content. The third one is slow melting. The cause is excessive stabilizer content or inadequate homogenization. The solution is optimum stabilizer content and adequate homogenization. And the last one in ice cream is miscellaneous defects, that is the shrinkage. cause is temperature fluctuation during storage, excessive overrun and rough transportation. The solution is constant temperature, optimum overrun and avoiding rough transportation. Now we will discuss about the defects in cheese, their causes and prevention. Now we will discuss first about the color defects in cheese. The first one is acid cut, bleached or faded. The cause is excessive acid development in cheese curd and the prevention is optimum acid development in cheese curd. The second one is high or unnatural color. The cause is excessive addition of color to cheese milk and the prevention is optimum addition of color to cheese milk. The third one is mottled color. The cause is combining cheese from two lots and uneven acid development in cheese curd. The prevention is avoiding it and even development of acid. Here we will see the defects in finish and appearance of cheese. The first one is cracked paraffin due to excessive thickness of paraffin coating on cheese and the prevention is correct thickness of paraffin coating. The second one is lopsided, hill-sided or misshapen cheese due to incorrect filling and pressing of curd cubes. The prevention by correct filling and pressing of curd cubes. The third one is rind rot due to excessive acidity and or moisture in cheese before curing and the prevention by optimum acidity and or moisture in cheese before curing. Here we can see the photograph of cracked paraffin, a defect in cheese. Another one is curdy cheese photograph. Here is the photograph of another common defect in cheese, that is the rind rot. Here is the common body defects in cheese, that is called curdy or rubbery. The causes are low moisture content in cheese before curing, low acid development in curd, over salting of cheese, insufficient chattering of cheese curd, and the prevention is optimum moisture before curing, optimum acid development, optimal salt level and proper chattering. Here we can see the texture defects in cheese, that is most commonly fish eyes or yeast holes. The cause is contamination with yeasts and the prevention is by avoiding contamination with yeasts. And then the final, that is flavor defects in cheese, most commonly bitter flavor defect and the cause is low quality milk, low quality starter, excessive acid or moisture in cheese. The prevention by using good quality milk, starter and maintaining optimal acid and moisture in cheese. Now the last defect in milk product, that is about the defects in whole milk powder or skim milk powder, their causes and prevention. The flavor defect in milk powder, the most commonly stale or old. The causes are long storage, storage at high temperature, excessive high preheating temperature, delayed cooling and removal of dried product from the drying chamber or high moisture content during storage. And the prevention by short storage, storage at low temperature, that is 24 degrees Celsius or below, optimum preheating temperature, prompt cooling and removal of the dried product from the drying chamber and optimum moisture content during storage. Here is another common flavor defect in milk powder, that is scorched or burnt. The cause is excessively high temperature, so lipase not inactivated, drum surface has pits or scraper knives blunt, that is in drum drying method, and the solutions or preventions are optimum drying temperature, drum surface kept smooth, scraper knives kept sharp. Here is the defect in body and texture of milk powder. The first one is lumpy. The causes are insufficient drying, absorption of moisture due to exposure to humid atmosphere, and the prevention by sufficient drying and preventing absorption of moisture by using moisture impervious packaging. So in case of dried powder, packaging is very important. I told there it should not allow the entry of any moisture from outside. The other defect is like caked, becoming like cake. The cause is absorption of moisture, and the prevention is by preventing the absorption of moisture by using moisture impervious packaging material. Now about defects in color and appearance of milk powder. The most common is browning or darkening of color. The cause is long storage, storage at high temperature, delayed cooling and removal of dried product from drying chamber, or high moisture content during storage. And the prevention or solution is short storage, storage at low temperature, prompt cooling and removal of the powder after drying, and moisture impervious packaging material should be used. Now we are at the end of today's lecture. I will just summarize. Today we have discussed about the defects in milk and milk products, their causes and prevention. So first briefly we have discussed about the defects in milk, especially sweet curdling, their cause and prevention. And also briefly we have discussed different kind of spoilage, their causes, which we have discussed in full details in a separate lecture earlier. And then we have discussed about the defects, causes and prevention in different milk products, starting with cream, then butter, then ghee, then cheese, then ice cream, and finally about the milk powder. So hope this lecture will be useful, and please like, share and comment on this lecture. Thank you.